So here we have a Wenger version. This is a 85 millimeter, 84, 85 millimeter Swiss Army knife. This model has been discontinued. So the Wenger was bought by Victorinox back in 2005, I believe, or 9, I can't remember. And after the acquisition, they started to phase out these models from Wenger and redo some of the tools and continue to manufacture with a different, somewhat different tools from Victorinox. But this is the original Wenger. So we're gonna walk through here and check out a few of the implements, as you can see. And we're gonna start here on the scales. What's different about the Wenger version compared to Victorinox version, as you can see, the toothpick and the tweezers are different, and they are in the inner side of the scale pointing inwards. And while this one is on the other side pointing outwards. So very interesting choice from Wenger in that perspective. So here you're gonna have your tweezer. Again, it's not very big tweezer, it's a small one, but it's somewhat precise. I like it. To be quite honest, I think I like it better than the Victorinox's version of tweezers because it's more precise. I usually use it for hair removal and things like that on my beard, some weird stuff growing on my beard. And this one, I can usually pull it out without breaking them. So or cutting them. This is a very, very good tweezer for its size and, construction. Simple, and it gets the job done. This is how I like it. Next, we have the toothpick. So it's a very small toothpick compared to Victorinox's version, as you can see. It's different, quite different construction. And what I see is that Victorinox's is more sturdy, so I like them better than this one. But this, for its purpose, gets the job done, as you would expect for a toothpick. The fact that they are here on the inner part of the scale, it's, arguably better or worse. To be quite honest, I don't really like it. I like the Victorinox's approach to it, but I think they are okay, not the best in class. So next, the awl or the punch, the hole. So this one right here, it's a very blunt tool. It's meant to be, it's somewhat pointy, not very, but somewhat pointy in here. And it's meant to poke holes on the surfaces and things like that. It doesn't have the reaming part as you would have on a Victorinox manufactured version. But it's a little bit longer, so it's a trade-off, and they decide to go something that will actually just create a punch hole on something. So it's a decision. To be quite honest, I like Victorinox's version better than this one, but I think this one is fine. Next, we have here the corkscrew. And the corkscrew over here, it's different from Victorinox's version, somewhat. Of course, it will get the same job done, but the thing is this, you can't use it with these little tools over here. It will get stuck somewhat. Actually, you can. What a dumbass. So this one right here, you can also use it with Victorinox's implementation of the screws. So here, you can use it like that, but it will... Yeah, like so. Very interesting use. So you can use this for open up bottles of wine, removing anchors from walls and things like that. So very useful. What I like about it, this is a very compact. Again, it will be very similar to a climber from Victorinox. Let me see here if I have a climber here. Yeah, it's a competitor from the climber. As you can see, has pretty much the same implements. Actually, we'll have one more implement compared to the climber. So we're gonna be comparing them very soon here. So here we're gonna have on the first layer the bottle opener, or the can opener actually. And this can opener is an old style. If you compare that to the Victorinox's version of can opener, it's very different, as you can see. This one it has some kind of a multiple purpose, while this one is just really to open up cans. Another purpose that I find for it on my day-to-day situation is the fact that it will have this pointy and somewhat sharp edge over here, which you can use to open up packages. So this is what I mostly use it for, so open up packages. Next, we're gonna have our bottle opener. As I spoke in the channel before, this bottle opener is very interesting because it's here you have a flathead screwdriver. Here you can have your bottle opener. Here you have a wire stripper, and what's interesting about this thing is that it will have a mechanism, like a spring mechanism over here, which you can see the little movement over here on the tool, and this allows this tool to lock into the layer over here, and this is locked in place, it won't move. You can't really move it. So when you're doing some work of scraping that you don't want this to bend or something like that, you want to stay in position where you're screwing a screw onto the wall and you don't want this to move at all, it's very tight, this is very useful in that situation. So all you need to do is apply a little bit of pressure, it will lock in, and you can use it. Very interesting choice from Wenger. Next in line we have the scissors. So the scissors from Wenger, as you can see here they are. They have a different mechanism compared to Victorinox scissors, as you can see here. This one will stay in place when you use it. Pretty much the only moving part is this little part, this side of the scissor. While this one, everything moves. So different choice of mechanism. These are very precise for cutting things. I think they are the best in class. Really good scissors overall. But the thing about these is that they are more durable. So this one, I've seen some people saying that they had to change the spring. This guy is just like forever. It's really good and nice. And another thing which is very interesting is that here it's a self-sharpening serrated blade. Maybe you can see it from there. But it will have a somewhat serrated blade, which if you're using to trim nails, usually gonna create some markings. So that's the reason why I don't like it so much. But very useful scissors for all other sorts of purpose. This is a blade. So this is an 84mm blade from Wenger. As you can see here, it's written, maybe you can read it. It's written Wenger Delamont Switzerland Stainless. So you might be able to see it in there. Hopefully, yes. But yeah, so this is a kind of a shorter blade compared to Victorinox's version. So this is this is a climber. It's a 91mm. This one's Wenger 85mm. This is a somewhat bigger in here, thicker, or like a wider blade. And in terms of thickness, Victorinox's version is also thicker compared to Wenger's blade. But I think these are good blades for the purpose of having a blade on a Swiss Army knife. I think this gets the job done for situations which you would probably use it to, cutting some stuff or peeling off some oranges and cutting things like that, cutting cheese or whatever. So I think this is a very useful tool. Next, here we have the file. On this file right here, again, you can use for all sorts of things. So like if you want to trim your nail, like things like that, very useful. Here at the end, this little tip, you can also try to use it as a Phillips screwdriver. Some situations this can get you out of a pickle if you try to tighten out some screws. So I think it's very useful. I like it, the fact that it has that. Some people also use it to clean underneath their nails. So, but it's very useful implement rather than having another blade. So if you think about it, and now talking about that, this is a somewhat very similar or approach to Victorinox's version, which is the, let me put like that so you can see the climber. So this is a sort of a climber competitor from Wenger. Let me put like this. Let me open up here. This is a climber, right? So let me open it up here. Let me do like this, so we can compare them. Here, let me open up here so I don't cut myself. This can be very tricky. Here and this here, so we can look at the blades and everything. So this is pretty much a competitor from Victorinox. Let me see here, put in here. Very similar on its implements. The advantage of this guy here for me is that it has a small blade, which I said in the channel before, I like them a lot, way better than the big blade for my day-to-day use, to be very honest. But, you know, you can get around, just gotta know your way around the big blade, the bigger version. The fact that this is a little bit smaller makes it a little bit more controllable, but the fact that this one has a little file here, this is very useful for me on my day-to-day scenarios, which is sometimes I'm doing some stuff, I have to remove some rough edges from some surfaces, or even I have to file my nails for some reason when I split it or whatever. So I think this is a very useful implement, and the fact that this one has a more shaped or more friendly flathead or a Phillips screwdriver over here compared to this one, I think this is a very, very useful tool. I like them a lot. So I have this around my home, to be quite honest. I'll always like to have this guy close to me, because usually when I get home, I bring some packages from with me, and this is a very good package opener. Again, a very useful tool. It's always around. The tweezers are really good, so I use the tweezers a lot too. So I think this is one of my most used Victorinoxes on a day-to-day situations. The history about this guy is that I bought it probably about 10-15 years ago, I guess, and has been with me for quite some time now, and 10 to 11 years, and I has been in my lost. It was lost and it was found again, so it has some sentimental value to me, and I love the fact that it's a piece of history because it's a Wenger. So I love it. I think that if you're able to get a hands on one of these, you should, because it's a killer. I think it's a really nice, compact Swiss Army knife, and I think it's worth the money. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for listening up for that review, and I hope you liked it, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.